What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the first ever Investing Bros Saturday live show. Guys, go ahead and smash that like button just for that. I'm super excited. T-Shroom, I've been talking a lot this morning. We don't know what the future of this show will look like. We don't know if it'll always be two of us, maybe one of us. Maybe sometimes we miss Saturdays. Obviously, there's some family stuff, but I'm excited. I'm excited to play around here on Saturdays with you guys. We're in the Saturday shows, guys. We're still going to talk news. We're still going to talk crypto. We're going to do TA, but we're going to have fun. Saturdays for sure, we are going to have fun. You guys are going to get to ask a lot of questions. We can go any direction you guys really want to go. For sure, as we're getting into football season, we might give some football picks and football conversation towards the end of the show. It will still mostly be crypto, but there's a lot of stuff we can do with this show in the future. So let us know in the comments, in the chat, what are your guys' expectations of Saturdays? Also, because it's Saturday and because it's a little later, it's 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That means that a lot of you got to sleep in a little more. Some of you guys might not watch Investing Bros that often. Put a 1 in, and there's going to be a lot of liars here. Put a 1 in chat if this is your first time watching Investing Bros, or you don't get to watch during the weekdays because you can't catch us live. Put that 1 in chat, and I'll be able to decipher the liars from the truthers. With that said, though, I'm excited, guys. I'm joined by Mr. T-Shroom, the Florida man, my co-host this morning. How are you doing, T-Shroom?
Well, I'm doing better than I deserve, especially because it's Saturday. You know, it doesn't feel like a Saturday, but it is. So it's pretty cool.
It is a Saturday. Yeah, no, next week, T-Shroom, you are leaving us for forever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I will have my military drill. So for the Florida National Guard, Thursday, I am just finding out. Thursday, I'm required to be there at 10 a.m. So I will not be here for Thursday or Friday of next week.
Yeah.
So I will be packing a punch on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But
Wednesday, yeah.
Be working hard to get my runs in.
Yeah, here's the good news is that I'm going to try to learn thumbnails here too. I think I don't know if this is true or not. Piper's in chat, so Piper, correct us if I'm wrong. I think you might be you might be coming on to join us next week, at least on Friday. But messing around with OBS, I feel pretty confident, T-Shroom, about any days that I'm by myself. I think I can still run the show via OBS. Might not have the same technological colors and all this fun stuff, but the show will continue. Now, thumbnails, I do need to work. I need to learn more about how to use
Photoshop
and do thumbnail stuff. So that's gonna be a limitation.
Step
for sure.
1: learn the name of the software.
Accomplished. Photoshop.
There we go.
Step 2.
Check.
Become good. Anyway, so yeah, I'm really excited. T-Shirt and I are talking a lot about this. Like, I want you guys to know, despite the fact that we both have other things going on, obviously I work at Hit Network. He works a lot of different jobs, a lot of different random places like the military and then other stuff. We really do believe very much so in the future of Investing Bros and really how far we can go as a community. So I'm excited, even if it's not always two of us, even if it's only one of us. I think these Saturday live shows could become a staple. There's not a lot of crypto live shows on weekends, and I think that people really appreciate this. So to everybody who watches normally, thank you for coming here this morning and being here and helping grow. And if you're new here, thank you so much for choosing Investing Bros this morning. I promise we will get into crypto stuff here in just a second, but I did want to give a shout out to everybody. Did get a lot of liars in chat here, a lot of ones from names I see every single day, but that's okay. Eric Wallen makes a good point that this is his first Saturday ever watching Investing Bros. So touche, Eric Wallen, touche.
Yeah. I do have a quote of the day.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, quote of the day. Yes,
it's not really a quote, but it's something that I kind of want to do more, which is a headline from last month. South Africa confirms that Russian President Vladimir Putin, who faces arrest warrant from the International Criminal Court, will participate remotely in the upcoming BRICS summit in Johannesburg rather than attend in person. So that was big. And the thing with that is that it's very unlikely for there to be a peace deal now between Russia and Ukraine, because you get the peace deal done, right? And what's on the other side of that? Oh, well, it's it's basically the what is it, Nuremberg trials for Vladimir, right? So it's very unlikely that Putin is going to enter any kind of a peace deal. Now he wants dominance, right? He wants to win.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right. Continue. There's our quote of the day from last month.
Do you think that there's a chance you get shipped out, T-Shroom?
No, I don't think so, because drones are just so much more effective.
Yeah.
Drones are effective, and there also is of loads of Eastern European countries that would, they have a little more passion to go and fight the Ruskies than Americans.
True.
But I wouldn't say never. I wouldn't count it out completely. You also have Turkey. The Turkish. There's a strong argument for them historically to kind of go against the Ruskies, whereas in America, you kind of there's an argument for wanting to defend the homeland with American troops. So we don't want to probably wouldn't want to deploy someone like me, especially. You probably would want, if you're going to deploy. Well, it's not because of that. If you're going to deploy American troops, you're going to want to deploy infantry and special forces, which I am neither. So I'm just a lowly guy trying to. I'm just a lowly. I don't even I'm training, right? I'm training to be a soldier.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, let's go ahead and engage here, T-Shroom, for just a second with chat. You guys know, in case it's your first time, we read some names in chat every single beginning of every show. Now, we have a little controversy this morning, T-Shroom. A little controversy.
Yeah, looks like Army Piper disagrees.
I've seen screenshots that say that Bedridden is first and that Eric Wallen was first. On my side, I see Bedridden first. Let me know in chat, comment, which one does your chat say commented first for you today? But for me, Bedridden gets the lead. Eric Wallen coming in second place. Also here this morning, it's me, a Crypto Mario is here. John Foster Crypto is here. Crypto Military Vet, Dustin Singer, Remington Peralt, Joe Nickel. Let's see, who else do we have down here? Average Crypto Joe is here. Nancy Croy is here. Prong Meh is here. Amelo Fellow is here. Coin Operator is here. Ada Ace, Elo Brown, Servando Estrada.
Wow, Servando Estrada. Haven't had that name in a long time.
We haven't gotten to say that in a long time, so I'm very glad.
That is worth the Saturday show right there.
This is if Servando's going to be here every Saturday, it's worth it. All right, let's keep going on. Who else do we have? Vincent Van Halen is here. Kid Mental is here. I haven't seen Kid Mental in a while either. Welcome.
This is cool.
Crypto Sec guy is here. Let's see. Who else do we have?
No.
T-Shroom is here in chat. French Toaster is here. Let's see, a couple more names, and we're going to move on. Justin Eubanks, Crypto Mini Bike, Army Piper, Philly Skills 1428 wants us to get into that TA. We're getting there, Philly. You rest assured we will be doing some TA this morning.
100%.
I know there's probably some other names in here, guys, but I'm not seeing new ones. Mike Play is here. There's a chance I might have gotten everyone's name in chat this morning. If that's the case, smash that like button, guys. We're about to jump into some comments. We're about to jump into some content here. A little bit different this morning, though, because we're not going to do an economic calendar. We'll just go ahead and look here, T-Shroom. Let's go to our Bitcoin liquidations this morning, crypto liquidations. Just get a sense of what's happening. 1 hour chart, a lot of XRP got a lot of short liquidations on XRP. We'll have to check out the prices over there. 24 hours, though. Let's go take a look over here. Bitcoin is still sitting green, which is negative. That means there were more longs, 19 million longs liquidated versus only almost 9 million shorts. Bitcoin price, though, hovering around 26,000. So we'll take a look there. Ethereum, though, XRP and BLZ all red, which is a good thing, meaning more shorts were liquidated than longs. I do think we're kind of seeing a temporary short-term bottom kind of piling up after this big dip. Let's take a look at some other things here. Truflation. We're not going to look at CME futures tool today, guys. Not important enough. But Truflation up 2.61%. So that continues to tick to the upside. We're setting some new higher highs here after a lot of lower highs and lower lows. We're maybe ticking back a little up on Truflation. Crypto Fear and Greed Index sitting a little up this morning at 39. You guys know yesterday we dipped all the way to 37 after hovering around 50 for a long, long time. But I, as a whole, see that as more of a positive thing to see that big of a a fall back into fear. That could be temporarily a positive. But as our title suggests, guys, we're going to be talking a little more today about that price of Bitcoin. And I'm not saying with 100% certainty we're going to see $20,000, but I do think the case is getting a little more likely that 20,000 could be happening later this fall. And then even deeper, we're going to explore this a lot because there's not a lot of new breaking news. We're going to talk about news that happened this week, continue to unpack the news, and now that we've had some time separated from it. But what would happen to alts if Bitcoin continues to fall down to 20,000? We'll talk about that and more. Let's go look at crypto market cap in general, the coin market cap, and see what is happening here. Not a lot of movements necessarily. XRP back up 2%, back up to 51 cents this morning. That's a positive sign. Cardano's up 1.2, back up to 26 cents. But nothing necessarily big in these larger coins. Let's take a look to see, was there any big movements in the other top 200? Biggest mover of the day, Akash Network, number 99. Guys, let me know in chat. Do you guys ever operate with Akash Network? Do you ever trade it, look at it? I don't know what it is. But another familiar face, H-Bar, sitting there, second place, up 13%. Ooh, we got to do some H-Bar. Got to do some H-Bar TA today, guys. Let's see. Thorchain is up 13%. Bitcoin SV, BSV is up 9%. Stellar's up this morning. 5% or so. Sui. Yeah, so there's got a couple coins in nice green days today. Big losers, though, XDC. It was in green earlier this week. So, what goes up must come down more often than not. But XDC sitting there down 3%. Render down 1.62. So not too much in the red, guys, honestly. Litecoin still going down. Solana down, but just barely. Nothing necessary to fret too much about. The biggest thing here, let's do this. We don't do this every single day. In the last 7 days, Say takes the cake, up 1,800%. But some of you might remember we talked about this. I think at one point it was up like 2,100% or 2,200%. So it's definitely down over the last couple of days. But that's the big one. Coming in at number 100, Say is the big winner of this week. But Thorchain up 46% this week. HBAR 14%. That's pretty much all today. So they've gone back and forth all week, but they've eliminated all their losses, and now they're back up in the green. HBAR, one of the coins having the best runs here more recently. Colin McDonald's at Akash, same type render. Okay. All right. So it's a render competitor. Is what you're saying, Colin? Interesting. Speaking of Akash, it's up 10% on the week, but then there's just not a lot of green here. Let's take a look at 7 days in the red. Yeah, Conflux down 27%, Compound down 23%, Litecoin down 23%. To be expected, guys. We've just told you guys, sorry, things don't go different that often. Litecoin historically bearish after the halving, and it's playing out just like a fiddle, the way it normally does. Now, Shiba Inu is down, and we know that last week Shiba Inu had a great week, but it's funny that now they had that big update, they're in the red. And we might have to do a lot of TA today, T-Shroom, because that's another one that could be interesting to look at the charts. I will say, I used to poop very hard on Shiba Inu. I'm still not necessarily the strongest believer in it long term, but I do have to give credit where credit is due. They're really trying. They really are trying to be a legitimate project and do some good things in the crypto space. Will they win? I don't know. And I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on Shiba Inu to be able to make that call with 100% certainty. ApeCoin also down 21%. Uniswap down 20%, continues to bleed this week. A lot. I mean, you're seeing a lot of projects, guys, down close to 20% this week. Where did Bitcoin get? Let's see. Bitcoin is now coming in down 11% the week. Ethereum 9%. XRP's down 18%. So it really, really rough week, guys, as we're coming in here towards the back half of August. And we told you, man, July's when they're red, you don't see green Augusts. It just doesn't happen in crypto, and it's coming true again. Let's go ahead and take a look, though, at those charts we forementioned. But let's go before we do that, let's go to Brocam really quickly, T-Shroom, because we got a lot of charts. Got a lot of charts to talk about. Let's just kind of pause there for a second and gauge. I want you and I to discuss this for let's do 2 or 3 minutes. Then we're going to look at chat. We're going to make sure chat has anything. What are your thoughts about this week? What in hindsight, how are your feelings about this week in the crypto landscape?
Well, I mean, I'll look at it through the lens of my personal portfolio. The name of the game this week was just patience. right?
Yeah.
You started the week and you were already down in a place where you could have made an argument to buy quite a bit, to deploy quite a bit, right?
Mhm.
But you would have been rewarded if you had waited, obviously, and put limit orders down at 25, 25 and, the higher 25s. So that's, the name of the game this week was patience. And that was pretty much across the majority of crypto, except, well, not, yeah, Cardano kind of bucked that trend a little bit by
And they
buoying.
held tight. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'd say I I was able to be patient and I deployed at some decent levels. Obviously you can always get lower, but I'm grateful for the levels I did get in at.
Yes.
And
Yep.
I have more than 75% of my dry powder from this last 2 weeks reserved still. So I don't know that we'll go down to 20. Nobody knows. If anybody tells you they know where the price is going, they're silly. But I do think that there's a good chance that we do push lower than 25 now because we've touched it.
Mhm.
And you want to have some powder for down there, absolutely. And if not, then you just catch 25, 26 on the way back up. Worst case, you're buying again at 28. But I actually do have a chart that I have pulled up. Let me see where this bad boy is. Here it is. So this is the rainbow Bitcoin rainbow price chart indicator. Some of you may have seen this if you've been in Bitcoin for a while. This is going all the way back to the inception, back in 2000. Well, I guess not the original inception, but it does go back to 2010.
Yeah.
And you can
Pretty
see
far
that.
back.
Yeah, this is the halving cycles. It gets out of that red range after the halving. And so you can see more recently there's been subdued movements according to this chart, but in the bear markets, as you can see here where we are now, recently it got even out of that blue range, right? When it back in January 2nd of 2023 got down to 16,000, and obviously the low was somewhere else in here, but you can see we've gotten back into that blue range. We have not left that range yet. So the prices that we're currently at could not, according to this chart, there could still be some downside, right? Just based off historically what has happened. And also in this last move is the first time that we got out of that blue zone to the downside. So it's definitely in the cards that we move lower. I'm not seeing any arguments of why we couldn't move lower here. So that's that.
Yeah.
And keeping in mind that there is that big spot ETF hanging over our heads that could get, if the powers that be decide, yeah, let's go ahead and push it. That would obviously, move things to the upside.
I do know on that news front, technically there's something on Tuesday, I believe, happening. So make sure you guys tune in on Tuesday or maybe Wednesday. Maybe it happens Tuesday afternoon. We'll talk about the Grayscale lawsuit against the SEC for denying so many ETFs. It was supposed to happen yesterday, and then it got pushed back to Tuesday in very familiar Gary Gensler fashion. I'm going to be surprised if it doesn't just continue to get kicked back. But we're about to go look at the charts here, guys. So if you're excited, we got 100 people in here on our first Saturday show. Thank you so much, guys, for choosing Investing Bros. If you want us to continue to do this, though, you got to smash that like button. You got to let us know you love these shows. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing to the channel. We just hit 4,000 subscribers this past week. We want to get to 5,000 in the next 2 months. We need your help. Please, just for the free price of free, hit that subscribe button and join the greatest crypto community in all of crypto YouTube, the Investing Bros. Let's go ahead and go to my screen here, T-Shroom, and let's talk about that because you made some interesting points there, even using the rainbow chart. I'm going to be honest. I've seen charts like the rainbow chart. I'm not the biggest fan of them because while they've worked in the past, there's things that are going to change about the market, and there's things that are going to change. I believe the 4-year cycle has a long way to go, but that band that it was in, as the market matures and has been rounding over, I think we're going to see it not be able to give us perfect predictions on what happens. But I do think when you look at the history of the charts and you keep the thought of the 4-year cycle, there's a lot of things you can still tell about Bitcoin. And what I'm looking at here, we're going to spend a little second here on Bitcoin, guys, because we got to set the precedence then for when we get into altcoins on what really could be happening the rest of this year. Now, we told you guys last week. I told you guys, and I didn't hear too much fuss. I thought we were going to come down to only 28,000. I thought that this dip that we were having, I knew we were going to come down, at least touch this blue line, and there was going to become a decision point. And I thought that was going to be a small bounce, then maybe get back up into the 30,000, and then we make a big drop later, right? Well, that didn't happen. I told you guys, if we lose 28,000, yeah, there's a little bit of support right here in this box at 27.4, 27.2. If we lose that and we go to 25 early, I do not see what we just happened being the bottom for multiple reasons. I think that the real bottom is going to happen mid to late October, and that has a lot to do with when you go back. Let's go back here to 2019 and explore this. Do I need to use? I'll just go ahead and use this chart. That's completely fine. So in case anyone is wondering, Tim, when we're talking about 2019, what do you think is happening right now? Let's take a look right here. Everyone knows that the 4-year cycle is not actually a 4-year cycle. It's more like 3 years, 11 months, maybe 10 and a half months. But a lot of times the 4-year cycle is about a month or so behind. Look at this date right here. Look at this price action. We've compared 2019 a lot. Look at that price action right there, that big dip. When was that? September of 2019. All right, let's do some quick math here, guys. All right, so 3 years, 11 months. That would put us at August of 2023. There was a big crash. Oh, would you look at that, guys? That's exactly what happened. I believe right now what we're sitting at is we're sitting at a similar feature. It's not going to be identical. Not going to be identical, guys. But we're sitting at a similar type of price action right now. Let me scroll back over to what we were in 2019 right there. So let's go back. Boom. What we're seeing right here is that big dip. August of 2023 is the equivalence of September of 2019. Was that the bottom, guys? No, it was not. Now, I'm not talking about this bottom. I'm not talking about COVID. COVID was a black swan event. I do not expect, unless a new black swan event, which you can't predict, that's the whole point of black swans, I'm not expecting us to repeat this far. But we still have further to go to the downside. In fact, we ended up going after this big dip right here. We still dropped another 19%. Do we have to drop another 19% now in 2023? Not saying that, guys. I'm just saying back in 2019, we dropped another 19%. But look at what the price action looked like. Let's go ahead and get rid of this circle, and let's take a little look here. We came down hard with big volume. You guys know I talked about this the other day. I'm going to talk about this a lot of places I talk. Big volume bottoms are a good indication that the pain might be over right then, but it probably more than likely means that same price or lower is going to be hit. Guess what? We actually ended up going lower as we trickled sideways after this bounce. We trickled sideways, had a little bit of a rise up. In fact, we from the bottom of what we had before that, we had a nice little 14% rally, 15% rally from the bottoms we had here back early October, end of September, right? Little bit of hope, but then it comes crashing back down again. Now, when I zoom in here, and I promise you guys, this is going to make sense to you. We did not get the same amount of volume on this crash as we done this one. What would I call this? I would call this a spring, a low volume spring. That, if I couldn't see this, pretend we don't see any of this volume. Let's just pretend for a second. Let's go replay. Let's go right here. Nope. I wanted to go one before that. Sorry, guys. Give me a sec. Oh, my gosh. Don't do this to me. All right, we got to go back again, guys. I'm so sorry. But this is Saturday. Stick with me. Stick with me, and this will all make sense. Let's go back here. I want to go back right to here. So let's pretend we did not know that candle. All we could see was this. We are back in the time frame of 2019. High volume bottom. This is not the bottom, guys. We're going to do it again. Low volume bottom. All right. This could be a spring. But what we want to see is when we start to swing to the upside, let's see if volume comes in. Well, cheat sheet, guys. You guys know what it is. We had a high volume. But then we could not sustain and get back above significant resistance. That's what you want to see. You want to see, if you're looking at Wyckoff's methods, you want to see the high volume spring. You want to get back above resistance and turn it into support. That does not happen. So the pain continues, and we drop and we go down. And guess what? High volume bottom. What does that mean, guys? For now, hey, we're hitting a bottom. We actually ended up, even from there, we ended up bouncing. How much? 20%. But the pain's not over. We're at least coming back down to that same level. And sure enough, I'm not going to do the reversal thing again, guys. Just stick with me. Look at the volume of these two red histograms right here. Look at these red histograms. Low volume, spring. right? So as this plays out here, now we can go ahead and just let it fast forward. We end up moving to the upside. Now, let's go ahead and kill this. I want to exit. We got to go back to it. Give me a second here, guys. Just bear with me. I know this is chaotic, but it all pays off. I just told you guys, this is COVID. This is a pandemic. This is a black swan event. No one could have predicted that COVID would have come in and hurt the world economies the way it did. If you erase all of this price action, look at what price did. We came up, we fell about 50% back down to a significant last level of resistance, and then we started to make our way back up. I think if COVID had never happened, ladies and gentlemen, I think you still see this happen. We trickle down here, we get down here, we rally up, we correct a little bit, but then we trade sideways, and then we get the halving and the real bull market of 2020, end of 2020, early 2021. This never happens. Low levels of 3,800 never happen, but we still have this same price action and similarity. So as we fast forward now and we look at where we are, again, if we're thinking we're somewhere right here in 2023, that means the bottom of this fall, not the bottom of the bear market, the bottom of this fall is not in. Realistically, guys, I even could see a good scenario for us to go ahead and rally back up. Let's just even go here. 25. I think there's a good chance we end up trading sideways here for a second, guys. I think we maybe get a little bit of another crash. We double bottom here at 25.2, and then we shoot up. The question is, where do we shoot up to? Let's just go ahead and even look here. I think 20% is asking for a lot. 50% is asking for a lot, but let's just pretend we even got it. 15%, we're asking for something up here. I think that's a little unrealistic. We're a little bit more mature in the market. I do think a realistic expectation, though, could be right here. About 13%, back up to 28.6. But what else would this accomplish? I talked about yesterday. This could accomplish what we just discussed, that when support lines are broken or resistance lines are broken, but then they're turned into the opposite. So in this case, a support line is broken and it gets turned into resistance. This could be very strong, guys. We could easily see the price keel back over here, hit 25.2 once again with a low volume. Then we see increased volume, spike us back up here. We hit this blue line, but we can't beat out all of this resistance, these levels here at 29.9, and then we keel over and we come back down. And this time now, we're not going to hold 25.2. Now it's about, hey, we can go much lower. In fact, when you're looking at this Bitcoin CME, we talked about this a lot. We have a CME gap, guys, down here at 19,940. When we come back to Bitcoin's price and we look at how we acted in 2019, where we dropped another, what did I say? We dropped another almost 30%, right? I think I said something like that. I don't think we're going to drop another 30%, but 20% drop? Are we really thinking this is not that hard to happen? This is very easy to happen. And when you're looking at the 4-year cycle and you're looking at the fact that there's a CME gap and you're looking at the fact, let's just even think through this, ladies and gentlemen. The news that happened was fake news from Elon Musk, and then the beginning of the demise of the Chinese economy right now. Look at that. Kelly Kellum in chat. Love to see it. We're looking at, yes, the stories were bad, but these aren't even scratching the surface, because Elon Musk was a FUD story. Evergrande collapsing is something we knew about for a long time, but more than likely is a signal that the Chinese economy is about to get a lot worse. I'm not predicting a brand new low. I'm not predicting that we fall below 15,500. In fact, I think we're going to end up right there, $20,000, 19,500 even maybe gets there. Is such an amazing buy action for these institutions that are about to be launching ETFs here in the next 4 to 6 months. This is all a part of the grander play, the grander manipulation of saying, guys, when retail misses the boat, who cares? Nobody's really hurt because nobody cares about retail investors. But when institutions miss the boat, bring that boat back. The reason why I think 20,000 is the more significant level I'm watching, maybe even 19,500, is because of another thing that happened. Look at this bottom right here. Yes, we dropped down. I think we wicked all the way to 17,600, but for the most part, price action stayed right here on 19,000, 19,500. This was FTX collapse. FTX was a mini black swan event. Now, there were people like BitBoy that called it. He knew it was going to happen. But for the most part, people thought he was crazy. I think it's not far-fetched to say that the FTX event was a black swan event that BitBoy just called perfectly. But when you look at it, yeah, we traded sideways while we dealt with this madness, and then we immediately shot back up to these levels and then retested that same level here at 19,500 to kind of say, all right, this really should have been closer to where the bottom of the market was. So when we say retail misses the boat, who cares? But when institutions miss the boat, they bring the boat back. I don't think we're talking about the boat being brought back to 15.5. That was massively overextended due to FUD. And it was true FUD, but massive black swan event type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think when we say institutions missed the boat, it's time to bring the boat back. 20,000 makes a lot of sense. Now, that was a lot of TA right there, guys. There's a lot of Bitcoin stuff, but this is Saturday. This is where we're supposed to have fun. I want to hear your guys' thoughts in chat. Kyle Owen says 15K would be glorious. Let's see who else. I saw Mark the Shark is here. I see that name every day over in the BitBoy chat. Good to see you, Mark. At the end of the day, Bitcoin doesn't give about and will go to new all-time highs for forever. I agree, Mark. I do think, by the way, guys, doing this bearish scenario does not change in my mind whatsoever the fact that I do believe Bitcoin will be sitting north of $100,000 this next bull market, and realistically probably getting close to that 150 if a lot of things go right, maybe 200K. That doesn't change. Yeah.
Tim, whenever you make that boat analogy of the manipulators bringing the boat back, it's a great analogy, but it always makes me think of this moment from The Office. I'll text her, BTB, bring that booty. Which is a great moment from The Office. Sorry to put it off, derail.
No, okay, T-Shrim, I want you to know, and I want everyone to know this.
It's a Daryl derail.
I will never in the world ever be mad or angry if someone interrupts me to make an Office reference. Now, if you interrupt me to just give your own opinion, or you interrupt me, I might be a little ticked. But if you interrupt me and then you come at me with Office quotes, you just earned 10 extra cool points in my book.
It. Finally.
Anyway, getting back.
I'm almost out of the negative cool points with Tim.
You are. You're really picking up here. You're getting good there. Getting back into Bitcoin. Getting back into crypto. This is not stuff that anyone wants to hear. And the truth is, I just know this. Any channel could get a lot more views if they just said price go up, price go up, price go up, price go up, price go up.
It's true.
But that's not what Investing Bros is. We do want to grow. We have the best community here. We want to see this grow large, but we do have to come to you with honesty, with our opinions, and sometimes our opinions are wrong. We're not going to sit here in front and say that we are these perfect predictors, but we've been right about a lot recently, haven't we, T-Shrim? And it's not been fun to be right. There's a lot of things we've been right about that I told you guys when I made the predictions. I'm like, I hope that I am wrong. However, this is what I'm seeing. And it hasn't really failed us that much. So the point now that we're getting at, guys, again, is this 100% certainty that we drop to 20,000? No, it's not. Things could always happen here, and 25.2 gets defended. It's a very strong level. Let's go back to my chart here, T-Shroom.
Let's do that.
25.2 is a very strong level, guys. It was the level that we did have before FTX. It was a very strong level of resistance, and even after FTX, we struggled to get back above it here for a second. Even after touching it, crashing all the way down. What was that? That was a good little crash there. Crash might be strong, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. 22%. Can we call 22% a crash, please, everybody? That's a crash. It's not a devastating crash, but it's a crash. We couldn't get it back above it, and finally we broke through. You even hesitated right here, broke through it. But I think 20,000, that CME gap, it's a very attractive level for, 19.5 even. I think that's a very attractive level for institutions that are about to make trillions. Now, we like to say billions. These institutions over the next 10 years are going to make trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars with these ETFs. So if they could gobble up some $20,000, $19,500 Bitcoin, they're going to do it. They would gobble 15.5, I think, if they could. I think, and let me know in chat if you guys disagree with me. I do think that the whole mentality of most Bitcoin holders is so strong. It's going to be really hard to get below 19,000. 15.5 mostly happened because of the fear, the unknown, the anger, the outburst of what happened with FTX. Mm-hmm. But now we got to head back on our shoulders. I think in reality, 19,000 is a really hard level to beat. So that's why I'm saying, like, when we say institutions would love to get it down to $2, and then they could buy a bunch of $2 if they still believe in it. It's not going to happen, but they would love to do it. But they have to stay realistic. They have to. They're going to test the waters. They're going to test these levels until they don't. They're just noticing. All right, Bitcoin holders aren't going to sell. Let's go ahead and buy all we want and then explode the price. That's what's going to happen. So that, to me, 20,000 is a very interesting level. 19,000, very interesting level to watch. Again, this is down, T-Shroom. We're talking about a 22 to potentially 25% dip in Bitcoin. Now, let's just say, as we start to talk about altcoins, ladies and gentlemen, let's just pretend that every altcoin just does the exact same thing as Bitcoin. We're not even talking about the fact that most altcoins will outpace Bitcoin if this happens. Let's just talk about, let's say that every single one of them got, and I'll even be conservative here, guys. Let's go 20%. Let's say altcoins start dropping 20%. Let's take a look at what Ethereum would do with a 20% drop. And then I'm even going to go from where the current price is. Let's even see this. 20% from the current price, we're talking about down here. Remember we talked about this the other day? $1,300. In reality, I just did 20% from Bitcoin's little wick right there. 20% from the wick on Ethereum gives us more of a price action of $1,100. It's not great. Not loving it. 25% from that price would give us $1,000. $1,100. We'll say the bottom levels of $1,100. It's not great. I mean, I would love to buy more Ethereum down there. What I'm just saying is there's a lot of bleeding that could happen in Ethereum. Let's go look at Cardano. Cardano probably sitting a lot closer. Let's go from previous, like right now, price action, 20% for Cardano. We're talking about a revisit of that wick at 21. So about 25. 25, we're talking about somewhere around 20 cents. But again, go back to this wick. That's where I'm comparing Bitcoin. 20%, 19 cents. 25%, 18 cents. We've been talking about 18 cents for a while. Let's go look at XRP. And this is one, guys, who would have known I was a super bull by saying 55 cents? I got wrong. I was wrong about my 55-cent prediction to the upside. This is crazy. I don't know. XRP is one, guys. I will say I don't think 20% is happening down. 20% from current price. We're talking about down to 40 cents. 25, we're talking about 38 cents. I think that would be the worst of it. I think from this wick right here, where we wick down to 43 cents, 20% down on XRP. Could it happen? Absolutely. 35 cents, 25% would put us down to 32%, 32 cents. Could happen. It absolutely could happen.
It was there in January.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think XRP, there's mostly more of a shock than anything else here. I think XRP, again, is going to be one of the strongest coins. And you can you can say you love XRP. You can say you hate XRP. You can say whatever you want. You can say it's centralized. You can say it's decentralized. I'm not here right now to talk to you guys about the centralization or decentralization of XRP. You can say you hate that it works with banks. You can say you love that it works with banks. Can we not all agree that it working with banks and potentially being the it factor in the crypto world that helps banks transact at a higher level? We're talking about systems that transact trillions of dollars every single year. That's not going to be bullish for XRP. That's going to make it one of the strongest altcoins out there in this next bull run. We're kidding ourselves. XRP will make you money. Love it, hate it, or whatever. It will make you some money. Go back to our screen. Let's see what Matic. Let's look at what Matic would do. I've told you guys, we've made predictions here, and I really hoped I was wrong. But I thought a lot of altcoins were going to at least go back down to similar, if not set brand new lows, like what I saw with Cardano. Let's look at Matic. 20% from current price action. Down to 46 cents. 25 would put us at 42. Let's just even say we moved that to where we just wicked down. This isn't new lows, but we're talking about a 37-cent Matic. That's 29%. Let's go up a little higher. A 40-cent Matic. Whew. Tell me you don't want to buy more of that. I think this is going to be happening. Solana. But now Solana, it's not as low. So Solana might be a candidate not to hit a new low. 20%. Let's move it down to this wick here. Let's move it down the wick. 22%. This would make a lot of sense here, guys. Going down to $15.48. Retesting after breaking out of a falling wedge pattern, not really making it very far. Retesting this level somewhere around $15 makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense for Solana. That's not a new low. It's just, it's nice stuff right there. Let's see. Other altcoins. Let's go look at HBAR. Now, HBAR might not fall into this category because HBAR is bucking the trend. HBAR is definitely going to the upside. I do think it'll go down. I do think that you could potentially see a 20% dip here at HBAR as well. 20% would be, by the way, guys, a revisit down here towards 5 cents. I think things like that could happen. Now, that's not new lows for the bear market, But it's definitely debucking everything happening here. Debucking. Is debucking a word? Probably not. It's probably not a word. It is what it is. All right. 20 cent. I think a 5 cent H bar is not. I'm not even doing in-depth TA here, guys. This is more just following some logical explanations of what we see in the news, then looking at Bitcoin and knowing. I've used this analogy before, guys. You can go to Brocam T-shirt room for a second. Bitcoin to crypto is like walking your dog or your child at a theme park or something. You guys, we all know, we've seen people walking their dogs. We've seen people walk their kids at theme parks. That parent is in full control. That kid can run really far out in front. That kid could fall way far behind, depending on how long the leash is. But ultimately, that kid is going the same direction as the parent. In the same way, guys, Bitcoin is the crypto parent. And when Bitcoin goes up, you might see altcoins lag behind, but they're going to go behind. Or they might speed up. Bitcoin goes up and they outpace Bitcoin and they're ahead of it. But then Bitcoin reverses and goes to the downside. And altcoins, they might lag behind and not fall as fast, but they're going to start falling. And more often than not, when I talk about falling, they're probably going to accelerate at a faster level. What I just did right there was saying, let's just pretend that they match in the crypto world, tit for tat, they go with Bitcoin, the same percentage. Those are still low levels. Realistically, guys, altcoins will probably outpace Bitcoin to the downside. Not what you want to hear, not what we want to happen. But we can't live in a world of make-believe and live in a world that we just get to have whatever we want. We have to live in a world of reality. We have to live in a world of comparing and looking at past charts. And we have to understand that more than likely is what we're going to see. The altcoin bleeding is not over. And again, the ones we looked at, I think in all reality, the only two that I looked at that I think will hit new lows for the bear market probably are Cardano and Matic, honestly. But a lot of them are going to get close at least. And there's a lot more we didn't look at that will hit brand new lows. And you know what? You know what you can do with that information? You can cry about it. You can be upset about it. You can leave the crypto space because of it. Or you can do what the whales do. And you can take advantage of an amazing price action. Because here's what I'll say. Last thing, and then we're going to talk about some stories, and T-Shirt, I want to get your take, and we'll engage with chat. None of what I just said, none of it changes the long-term bullish outlook of these cryptos. I'm still seeing Bitcoin getting, like I said, above 100,000, pushing towards 150. I still see XRP getting north of $10, but I think closer to $12 to $15. I still see Cardano getting north of $8, maybe pushing towards 10. I still see Ethereum getting above 17,000, maybe pushing towards 20,000. I still see massive, massive prices for the crypto space by the end of 2025. Probably more likely late summer, early fall of 2025. So let's just do some logical thinking here, guys. Am I going to complain that I can go buy these at cheaper prices? No. Because guess what? Right now, let's do this one last thing here. Let's do Cardano. Let's do Cardano here.
Cardanzo.
Let's say we could predict with absolute perfection, guys. Absolute perfection. Cardano is going to fall to 18 cents and then rally in the bull market. We're going to rally. Let's go to log chart here for this. It's going to rally perfectly to, we're going to split the difference. I'm going to say $9 just because I think 8 to 10 is interesting. Let's say $9. Look at the percentage. Let's say you bought right now, you bought Cardano at 26 cents and price gets to $9. We'll go right there. Boom. That's awesome, guys. 3,200% gain. That is a 32x. Amazing. Right? I'm doing that math right? 32x. Yeah, that's 32x. Amazing. Amazing stuff. What happens if you buy at 18 cents? It's going to be a big difference, guys. 47x. Both people are going to make a lot of money. If you are buying at 26 cents, you're going to make a lot of money on Cardano. But you're going to make a lot more money if you buy at 18 cents. And I'm not saying don't buy now. I'm saying continue to DCA. Buy some now just in case this is the bottom. But also leave some dry powder out there for 18 cents. Bring your average maybe down closer to 20 cents. Now, if your average buy is at 20 cents, that's still going to be a 42x or so. You know, if your average buy is somewhere closer to 25 cents, you're talking about a 36x. Like, get a low buying average. My point here, though, is that too many people I see complain or fuss or fud out or get really worried because low prices happen. And what we're telling you is the TA that we're looking at here on predicting these crashes is some of the most bullish stuff that you could have, because we're not looking at the charts and saying these coins are dead. We're not looking at the charts and saying these prices will not go up. We're looking at these charts and saying, guys, in a healthy market, these coins could still fall this far and have amazing bull runs. This is how the millionaires are made. They don't fuss, they don't complain, they don't cry, they don't quit. They look at this kind of stuff. And even if they made some purchases higher, they say, all right, I'm going to go get some lower purchases in here too. And I'm going to make my millions because I'm going to keep my head on my shoulders and not just fuss and complain and try to deny. That's another thing. I think a lot of people in the crypto space they live in denial. They're like, no, there's no way XRP makes it back to 55 cents. There's no way that Cardano's going to 18 cents. There's no way Bitcoin drops below 25.2. They live in denial. When in reality, if you understand the probabilities and the possibilities of those at price actions and you take advantage of it, you can make a lot of money.
That's right.
Let's go back to our broke here, T-shirt room. That's my little Saturday spiel. Yeah. Saturday spiel. I see a lot of faces here, guys. Thank you to everyone who is here. SAS Finance saying, let's freaking go, Tim. Let's see who else I see here. Dave Digital. Oh, my gosh. Dave Digital is here. Oh, what a guy. What a guy, Dave Digital. We got Dustin Singers in here. Kyle Owen saying, what's ADA's market cap at $9? Good question, Kyle. I could do the math real quickly. I'm going to be making some videos here going forward that we'll be putting out probably like on Sundays or something, doing some longer time frame price predictions. And we'll talk about market caps and realistic price angles and different things. But I don't know the answer off the top of my head, Kyle. But in that video, I'll definitely talk about that.
I love it.
It'd be high.
There's two things that I want to highlight here. Getting off the charts a little bit. We've got some fun stories. A fun story and then a not so fun story. Look at the interior of this new all-electric Lamborghini. Look at that. Yeah. Is that something that you'd like to buy? Look at the exterior. This is Lamborghini is officially unveiling their 100% electric vehicle to compete with Tesla. It's called the Lanzador. Man, that is pretty cool. Tim, do you think that Elon is shaking in his boots looking at this? I haven't been able to find a price point for this, but
I was going to say my first question is how much does that sucker cost? Because when they say they're competing with Tesla, they can't compete with Tesla. Lamborghini, we're talking about multiple hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars into a car. Tesla's, I think last I saw, the lowest Tesla you could buy is about $50,000, $55,000. Of course, you could soup it up and get into the hundreds of thousands, but Elon Musk has done a great job of making electric vehicles pretty affordable. I mean, you're not gonna buy it if you just work at the local grocery store. That's not their ideal customer. But nurses, just a professional salesman, like these vehicles are super nice. And they're super affordable. Lamborghini can't compete with that. Now, the fancy, the doctors, the multi-billion-dollar business owners who want to own Lambos, I guess multi-million-dollar business owners that want to own Lambos, this is very attractive to them if they like electric vehicles and they like that luxury. But this is not legitimate competition to Elon and Tesla whatsoever. Let me know, chat. What do you guys think? Do you think anybody is going to say, I was thinking to buy a Tesla, but after that Lambo, I'm thinking of spending an additional $700,000 on my vehicle? I don't see it. Yeah. I don't see it.
Well, this is the one. I'm pretty sure this is the one on my screen now that it is actually going to try to compete with the S, which I believe it's like this is the one that's the fastest and it has all the like major luxury packages and all that. So there is it'll be when the Lamborghinis come said it's competing with this specific model. But the thing is like I feel like how much
is the Model S? Like that Model S is not that expensive.
Let me see. We'll go to order now.
Comparatively to Lambo, so
well, the price point on the Lambo hasn't come out, but the Model S standard is $78,000, and then the Model S Plaid is $108,000, and the Plaid is like the best machine you can buy from Tesla.
This would be like Gucci coming out with a $20 shirt. It's not going to happen. They're not going to
Sure.
do it. It would hurt their brand. But like Lamborghini, its brand is ridiculously overpriced luxury vehicle. I'm not saying that Lambos aren't nice, because Lambos are super nice. But are we not kidding ourselves that most people that buy, and I'm talking about Ben here too. I love Ben. Ben has a Lambo. Part of the reason Ben bought a Lambo is to say he owns the Lambo. Like, part of the appeal to Lamborghini is the name and the logo itself. You're not necessarily paying for a higher engine or a better body. It is like they're kind of one of a kind. There's not a lot that looks like them. But my point is, same thing as Gucci. You're going to buy a shirt that I could buy that says Goody and looks exactly the same, just the letters are different. And I can buy that shirt for like $20, and it's going to be probably the same material and everything else, but Gucci, because the name Gucci's on it, that shirt's going to cost $500.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. I don't see Lambo changing that.
The other thing too that kind of comes to mind, and we have another story we want to cover too, but when I think of a Lamborghini, one of the first like three things I think of is that grr, that roar of the engine of the Lamborghini. If they don't mimic that in the electric vehicle, is it really a Lamborghini? It might have the name, but it doesn't have that roar, right? Maybe we're moving into a world where the Lamborghini can get away with that, but I don't know. If I buy a Lambo, I want it to take over the intersection audibly when I hit the gas pedal. I want to be the main attraction when I'm pulling up to the intersection and when I'm hitting the gas. Like, that's not going to happen when you're in an electric version of the Lamborghini. So we'll see. I mean, it's idle chatter from the bros, because we're not going to be getting our hands on these.
We got a couple chats here. The thumbnail investor said, not interested in cars at this point, trying to buy second house instead. That Lamborghini does look cool. I'm with you, thumbnail investor, but by the way, I'm not buying my second house. Tay and I have gone back and forth on this. I think we are going to try to buy a house here at some point in the next year or two with the bull market, but I am all about it. Like, I don't need fancy vehicles. Like, I want to own real estate, owning multiple houses. There's just some really cool opportunities when you own property and you get these short-term rentals. Man, I'm learning a lot about this. This is stuff we'll probably cover in the future of the Investing Bros when I learn more about it. But the ability, I don't know if any of you do this, to own houses and then do like short-term rentals, like a month, 2 months, 3 months. I've heard stories of people who, like, their mortgage on like a five-bedroom house. Their mortgage is like $3,000. But due to their location of where they are, like, for example, in Maine, there's a state law that when you rent a house or you do that, you have to rent it for a whole month. So some people, they only want to go there for one weekend. They have to rent the house for the whole month. And the price is close to $10,000 for the month. And they pay for it because they just want to go up there and ski for a weekend. But they just have loaded with money because they live up in there in New England. So it's like, man, I'm paying a $3,000 mortgage. I can charge $10,000 for a month. Like, there's people that can pay off their mortgages in their houses within a couple of years with the margins they can make doing these short-term rentals. So, like, it's something for sure. I love crypto, and there's still a lot of returns in crypto. But just so you guys know, when T. Shum and I came up with the name Investing Bros, we are a crypto channel right now, guys. We talk a lot of crypto. We do stocks from time to time too. We definitely talk about stocks. But one of the thoughts is we don't want to be limited to crypto in the future, because there will be a day and age where things will start to level off in crypto. And we really want the Investing Bros to be a long-term brand that really gets into the nitty-gritty of how can the everyday person be responsible with their money and turn it into more, so they can live a life of financial freedom that allows them to do whatever they want to do and whatever they're called to do, and then also help people around them. And so crypto right now is king, I would say, in the investing world. But man, I'm getting really excited about real estate stuff. And especially we're watching the likes of like BlackRock and China and others, like, buying all the land everywhere and buying all the housing and stuff. There will be a day where if you own one piece of property, you are probably an elite wealthy person. It's crazy the way it's going. So
yeah. Speaking of elite and wealthy people, there's another story out here. The last 6 minutes, I don't know how much time we'll talk about it, but this is a story that kind of went under the radar. I just found it. MasterCard forms CBDC partner program with Ripple and Consensus. So I kind of briefly read into the details of this. I mean, it's essentially not too much different from what Ripple has always had their vision to be, which is to partner with the banks and be the cryptocurrency for banks, while Bitcoin and Ethereum are the cryptocurrencies for you and me, right? So it looks like they got a pretty big partnership here for MasterCard. And what does that also tell me? It tells me that MasterCard is kind of betting is on the side of Ripple against the SEC in this a big appeal that's coming out. Because
Yeah.
I mean, if MasterCard is willing to put their, it's kind of like this similar with the PayPal play recently. It's like these bigger corporations that do have a lot to lose if the SEC were to come after them. They're kind of putting their balls on the table and saying, hey, look, we don't want to get left behind here. This is an industry that we cannot afford to get left behind here. We will pay the fees. We will pay the fines if the SEC wants to come after us for leading in this industry. So, Tim, what are your thoughts here? Do you think that that Ripple's kind of swerving too far into the CBDC world, or is this something that they've always said?
No, I mean, okay, here's the thing. XRP is for sure getting into the world of helping build CBDCs. They're going to work with banks. They're going to work with governments. They're going to do this stuff. And it's going to cause some people not to like them. And what's going to happen is XRP holders and Ripple execs are going to wipe away their tears of the people that say mean things to them online with their dollar bills. And it won't be dollar bills because it'll be crypto, but I don't know how they'll wipe it away.
They'll be wiping it away by ripping off some of the upholstery from their electric Lamborghinis.
Exactly. That's exactly what's going to happen. They don't care if you don't like them. They are getting into space. And then you get into the story. It's not obvious, T-Shroom, because I think a lot of people are going to be surprised by that, but it should be obvious. Banks and corporations are not siding with Gary Gensler on this stuff, especially when it comes to Ripple. They cannot wait to start using the XRP technology, the Ripple technology, to make their businesses go better. This is the thing, guys, and we need to remember this. I think most people in our chat remember this, but there was a phase where they completely ignored crypto and blockchain technology. I'm talking about the traditional finance world. They ignored it. Then it got a little more mainstream around 2013, and they started laughing at it. Oh, there's these little computer nerds over here trading their internet money. So funny. And then we get to around 2020. They're not laughing as much as saying like, hey, you're taking too much money from us. Hey, you're making people lose interest in US dollars. Hey, we should regulate these people. We need to get rid of these, these crypto people, these investing bros that are just investing. These crypto bros who are just making money out of thin air. They're going to ruin the whole system. We have to fight them. And then there's the phase that we are now entering. They join us. Mm-hmm. Gary Gensler's still fighting, but have you seen the videos, like the comparing, first of all, Michael Saylor used to be very anti-Bitcoin. He joined Bitcoin a long time ago, but he used to be anti. He saw the beauty. He changed. Larry Fink used to say it was terrible. He's changed. He's about to launch a Bitcoin ETF. Why? Is he in love with Bitcoin? I don't know. He's in love with money. He's gonna make a lot of money with his ETF. Then you have people like even Trump, very anti-crypto. And we haven't heard him say anything positive, but he owns it. And of course, now these banks, MasterCard, PayPal, Amazon, Apple, there's all these companies and banks around the world that 2 years ago told you stay away from crypto, it'll ruin you. And now they're saying, how do we get some of this wealth for ourselves? So everyone's going to go anti-Gary Gensler. I think Gary Gensler, Elizabeth Warren, and a couple people in the White House staff are some of the last ones left saying that we need to try to get rid of crypto. It's just going to happen. It always was inevitable. The question at this point, T-Shroom, which is a legitimate question, is
what's the question, Tim? What
will the centralization to decentralization ratio be? Bitcoin will always be decentralized. It just will. But when it comes to, I'm not gonna try to sugarcoat when it comes to things like Ethereum or XRP. Guys, they're gonna lean a little more centralized. It's just gonna happen. You're gonna make a lot of money with it, and I know nobody wants it to say that way, but like we've gotten, the world has been centralized for a long time. We've dealt with centralized money and everything for a long time. I think that XRP and Ethereum will be better for the world than our current level of centralization. But I'm also not going to lie to you and try to sugarcoat it and say that they're decentralized, because in reality, they're not. There might be aspects of them that are, but they're not. Ada Ace just commented, Ada will win. Guys, one of the reasons I like Ada is because I don't know if Ada is going to pass Ethereum. In fact, an educated guess would say it's not. It's not going to pass Ethereum. And one of the reasons why is because Ethereum is going to go centralized, and they're going to get the backing of the most powerful people around the entire world, and they're going to do a lot of great things. But Cardano, I feel like, could be the crypto of the people moving forward. Even when you listen to when you listen to Charles Hoskinson and his whole vision, something we talked about in a Twitter Spaces here a couple weeks ago was, well, if Cardano could just partner with a big institution, they could go really big. They could start making, yeah, they could. But the more and more you partner with big institutions, the easier it is to potentially start shifting into a more centralized form of being a crypto. Cardano is saying we are here to bank the unbanked. We're not interested in helping businesses become more wealthy. We're interested in helping the everyday individual be able to prepare and provide for themselves and not have to worry about. This is one of the coolest things. Like, I love what he's doing going after the continent of Africa, because there are brilliant engineers and brilliant people in Africa who are not able to contribute to the rest of the world because of their banking problems. The corruption, the chaos, it's all stopping them from actually contributing to helping other people. And when they can bank themselves via Cardano, watch out for what they can accomplish. Watch out for what could happen in the continent of Africa. That's why I love ADA. That's why I love Cardano and everything they're doing. But again, reality. Let's get back to reality. Ethereum and XRP are going to make a lot of money. Cardano's going to make a lot of money too, but I question in the future if they can make more money than XRP and Ethereum. The more I mature in the crypto space, I could sit here and kick my feet and scream and cry and yell and say it should only be decentralized. It should be only, decentralized currencies and get rid of all the centralized ones. But that's just not reality. So I'm wasting my time, my breath, and my energy. Why would I do that? I'll continue to fight for what's right, to come at things from a logical and moral code, but understand that we live in a world of reality, and the world of reality is people will always fight for power, corruption, and centralization. So I'm going to continue to try to build my wealth to help fight for what I think is right and do the things that I feel like God called me to do in the first place, and to help those people around me. And that's going to come with me holding Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Cardano, Matic, holding a lot. You know what? I told you guys before, I'm not a big fan of Solana. I don't know if anyone in chat is a fan of Solana. I'm probably going to hold Solana. I think Solana, actually, the more and more I'm looking at it, I think Solana, the fact that it did not die and it's actually doing pretty well right now, I'm like, if that didn't kill Solana, what's going to kill it?
Sorry, Tim. I'm not on that train, man. I'd rather put my money into like a Cosmos or a Polygon than
you can do it. But you can put your money in a lot of places. My point is, there's a lot of places to make money. And if you don't put your money in one of those things I just said, you'll still make a lot of money putting them in others. You're not going to have them all right. My point here is that when it comes to crypto, I do think cream's going to rise from the top. Cream's going to rise is going to rise to the top. Man, it's hard to say.
The cream's going to be going somewhere.
It's going to do a lot of cream. All right.
Nice.
Choose your boat. God. Choose a good boat. Okay, T-shirt. Let's not. This is
no. That was not. That was
show.
So direct.
If you just don't listen, the chat's going to do what they want. Us people here on the camera, though, we got to keep it together. We got to keep our thoughts and our wits together.
Sure. No, you're right.
It was a sketchy statement. It was. You can say what you want to say, T-shirt. My point is, my rare L take, Tim. I don't know what your my L take is. The point is, you can make a lot of money from a lot of different places, Mellow Fellow. And I think the tribalization in crypto is getting kind of disgusting. That if you love Solana, that means you have to hate Cardano. And if you love Cardano, you have to hate Solana. And if you love XRP, you have to hate this. And if you hate XRP, then you have to love this. It's so dumb.
Of course.
Do we not agree that that's dumb?
I just don't want to invest in a coin that has outages when there's plenty of coins that don't have outages. That are, I mean, Atom. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Cosmos is as fast as Solana. I might be wrong about that. But now you've got this new one. What is it, C or whatever? That seems like it's pretty fast too. SEI, isn't that the one?
Oh, say.
Yeah.
I don't know. Say also just popped up out of nowhere. So that's a coin that I want to see it come back down to reality before I really do much with it.
Say what you need to say.
Yeah, say. Let's see. Let's read some chat here. We are over time, but it's Saturday, so it's not like any of us have to run off to do anything. So we're probably going to wrap up here in just a couple of minutes. But let's read some chat here.
You know what's funny, guys? Before you do that, Tim, is that before we went live, Tim goes, "Yeah, we'll probably wrap this one up right in an hour. I don't think we'll go much."
Okay. I didn't say. I said I'm not trying to go too much past 10 o'clock. Or
this is the longest we've gone in a long time.
It is
4 minutes over. But I'm loving it.
And look forward to in the future, guys. We're not going to talk about it today because it's not time to talk about it. But we'll definitely on these shows end with like 5 minutes of college football talk. So we're going to do it at the end. So if people are done and they heard all their crypto stuff, they want to leave, that's fine. You can do that. But we're going to have some fun with this. Let's read some
love
chat
college
here,
football.
BK said, Tim, what's your affiliation with UF? My affiliation with UF is I lived in Gainesville for 10 years. 10 freaking years. Where I met T. Shroom. It's where I met my wife, Taylor. That's where I met Jeb. That's where I met Smay. That's what, I lived there for 10 years. Went there for school. My thought was I was going for school and leaving. I got stuck. In a beautiful way, I got stuck. But yeah, that's my affiliation with UF. Let's see here. Mark the Shark said, hating Bitcoin will just hurt you in the long run. It's true. It's true. There are, and by the way, I don't want to say that like all cryptos are great. There are cryptos out there worth still hating on, but I do think that people tribalize themselves too much sometimes. If you don't want to invest in something, just don't invest in it. But why do you have to go and try to like convince everybody else that it's the worst when it's like, hey, let people invest what they want to invest in. They have their reasons. Okay, Dave Digital, not reading that one. Let's see. Jake Mueller said, hello, but great Saturday show. Love the talk. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is a fun show. This was very fun. I look forward to them in the future. Let's read some others here, and we'll kind of wrap up today. Dave says, don't get me started. I never tried to get you started, Dave. I feel like you start yourself. Also, MLFO says, I prefer blockchains that actually work. Yeah, okay, listen, that's fine. You don't have to like Solana. No one has to buy Solana. I'm not putting a gun to your head. But the point is, I'm not going to own more Solana than Cardano. I like Cardano better than Solana.
Don't
but
buy
I think
Solana,
too many people try to like. It's almost like I think a lot of people act like you either have to have Solana or Cardano. You can't have both, and you absolutely can. That's my only point here. If you don't want to, that's completely fine. And ML fellow, I will love you no matter what, even if you think I take L's, because you're one of my favorites. Let's see who else. 88 Metal Mania said Cardano will change humanity more than most other tokens that make the rich richer. I agree. And again, that's one of the reasons why I love Cardano. I love there's the book Start With Why. I don't know if you guys have read it. The whole concept is that when people buy from you, you need to think about like, yeah, your product needs to be good. Your product, whatever you do, it has to add value to people. But a lot of times people don't buy your product because it's the best or the shiniest or the cheapest. A lot of people buy products because of the why that the company has in the first place. And Cardano, with the exception of Bitcoin, I can't think of another coin, another crypto with a better why than Cardano. Challenge me on that in chat, though. If you guys think of another one, let me know. But Bitcoin's why, self-explanatory. What Satoshi Nakamoto did is one of the most beautiful things this world has seen when it comes to money and finances. But Cardano and what they're trying to accomplish, that why, it's just, I will always be a Cardano fan no matter the price. That's going to wrap it up here, guys. Let's see. Abelfez says, Saturday Bros are the best. Thank you so much. That is a good feedback. Florida Gators are my favorite SEC team. Big Tebow fan. Who's not a big Tebow fan? SAS Finance. I mean, if you don't like Tim Tebow, then you're probably liking Solana. I'm just kidding. Let's see. I bought a Florida Gators hat back in the day. Loved watching. Yeah. Yep. Tebow is the GOAT. Did you guys know Tim Tebow was homeschooled as well? Shout out to homeschoolers everywhere. We can be good athletes too. With that said, though, guys, I do believe this is going to wrap up our first ever Saturday Investing Bros live show, but I'm going to count this T-Shroom as a smashing success. You guys have been awesome. Once again, if this was your first time here, please consider subscribing to the channel. Help us get to that 5,000, and please hit that like button. YouTube loves seeing that people like your videos, so hit that like button. If you dislike it, you hit that too, because YouTube also loves to see people engage. And so you guys can hit all the buttons that you want. Look at that. Matt C. joining us here at the end. Love you guys. We'll see you Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be back. With that said, you guys have a fantastic weekend.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms news, got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.